I asked my client, how will you know this session was successful? She said, when I go out and have that conversation with my manager, I had to pause. That's after our session. What will be different for you before you leave this call? This distinction between what happens during our time together and what happens after is one of the most important things you can learn about session agreements. Here's what happens all the time. Clients describe success in terms of what they'll do after the session ends. I'll know it worked when I have that conversation, when I get the promotion, when my team starts performing better. And those are wonderful outcomes, but they happen later. The real question we need to answer is, what will be different before you leave? What shift will happen in the next 30 or 45 minutes? That's what session success is actually about. ICF marker 3.08 tells us to partner with the client to define measures of success for the coaching engagement and each session. That phrase, each session, is crucial. For sessions specifically, success must be achievable within the conversation itself. Not next week, not when they take action, but right here in the time we have together. That's a fundamentally different question than engagement measures. And it requires different thinking. Let me make this really clear. Session measures are achievable now during our time together. Things like clarity about options, confidence in my next step, understanding what's been holding me back. Post-session outcomes happen later, after the session ends. Had the conversation, got the promotion, made the decision. We're defining what shifts during our time together, not what happens after they leave. This keeps the session focused on what can actually be accomplished here. The client walks away having achieved something real, even before they take action in the world. So here's the question you need to ask. How will you know before you leave this session in the next 45 minutes that we have achieved the goal for this session? Not how will you know after you act on it? Not how will you know next week? But what will be different for you in the next 45? It's not about how will you know when they get out of the session, whatever it is they're going to do. It's how will you know before you leave this session? That's the shift in thinking that makes session agreements actually work. What do good session measures sound like? I will have clarity about my options. I will feel confident about my next step. I will understand what has been holding me back. I will know what I want to say in that conversation. Notice what these have in common. All of them are achievable before the client leaves the session. Clarity, confidence, understanding, knowing, these are internal shifts that happen during the coaching conversation. They're not dependent on anyone else's response. They're not contingent on future events. They're what the client will walk away with today. So remember this. Session success is measured by what shifts during the conversation, not by what happens after the session ends. Always ask, what will be different before you leave the session? That one question keeps the session focused. It creates achievable targets, and it allows the client to experience real progress right here, right now. Now, there's one more trap with session measures that's so common, it deserves its own attention. The 1 to 10 scale. You've probably used it. Most coaches have. But on its own, it's not enough. Let's dig into that next.